G'day everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm just doing a quick little bonus video for the Harry Potter-a-thon for this weekend, and what I thought I would show you is a card. So I got the inspiration from Keren Baker. I'll leave her link to her video down in the description below, but she used a whole lot of dyes and other things, and I wanted to come up with a way that this could be done, and all you really need, if you don't have all of the fancy things, is some paper and some cardstock, scissors, and some glue. So I tried to simplify it as much as I could so that it could be utilised by the majority without all of the other things. So required a bit of mass, and I've done it 3 times over just to make sure that my mass and my measurements worked, but I have it all written down so that you guys can look at it as I do it. But we've got we're going to do the 4 houses, so if you hadn't figured by all of the stuff around, I'm a Ravenclaw, so we're doing Ravenclaw last. But what I have done is I found a stamp that said always and forever, and I just cut that off the and forever and just put always there. This is just a little sentiment. It doesn't need to be there. It was just a little addition that I put in there. And inside the cards, I have it ready for a sentiment or just writing or stamp. Surprisingly, I don't have a Harry Potter stamp set. I need to rectify that situation, I do think. But yeah, so we're going to get in and get started on these cards. So I will explain the instructions first. So here we've got Hogwarts house card. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you might be able to see it. Okay, so we're going to need, I'm making it a 5x7 card. I'm working in inches simply because I think that covers the majority of us. We can work with either centimetres or inches. So I'm just sticking with inches because most things come with inch, thingy jiggies, paper trimmers and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm making a 5x7 card. So you need a 7x10 card base. So this is what we've got here. I've just trimmed all of mine already just to save you not watching me use the paper trimmer and getting carried away. So 5x7 card base. Okay, so I've scored that, folded that up, ready to go. You will need 2 extra white layers, card layers, and they are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then in the white as well, you need to get yourself ready and cut 2 2-inch squares. So they are the white. Then with the grey for the sweater, you need a 5 3/4 by 4 3/4 piece of card or paper, and 2 of 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches around about. Okay, you don't really need the 5 inches. It's just there. You'll see in a moment. It's just there just to be on the safe side. Black. You need a piece of 2 3/4 by 6 3/4 that you just down the middle. Okay, so cutting it into 2 long triangles. Then we get into the house colours. So this is obviously depending on which house you want to do. So with the primary colour, you want a few little pieces. These are a little bit fiddly to get started with. Okay, you need this one here, which is going to be the matte layer inside your card, which is 6 7/8 by 4 7/8. Then you will need a piece that is 1 1/2 by 5 5/8. You need to be specific about this, and I'll explain this piece when we get to it. You've got 3 by 1 1/2. A 1 1/2 by 1, and 2 1/2-inch strips by, again, 5 or whatever. Mine are longer because I just was using whatever cards that I had there. But, like I said, these, you'll see what I mean by these strips when we get to it. And then in the secondary house colour, you want 4 or 5 1/4 inch pieces. Okay, and you'll see what we use these for when we get to it. Now, I am a traditional girl. I like Ravenclaw as blue and bronze, but I know that in the movies it's blue and silver. So I kind of went for a pewter colour, which is, you know, a brown silver. So it kind of, I tried to make it fit both. That was kind of my thoughts there. Alright, and then there is a little bit of card up here, which is around about 1 3/4 by 3/4 for your sentiment if you want to put that on. Okay, so that is all of the measurements, and we will get into constructing the card. So you need one of, we'll do the matting first. Okay, so inside you'll need your large piece of the house colour, and this is just to strengthen my cardstock, because I actually don't have the thickest cardstock. But if you've got a really thick base cardstock, you might not need to do this, but I just thought it added a little bit of the house colour into the inside anyway. And you can use glue on this. I'm just, for sake of speed, I'm going to use my tape runner, which doesn't want to work. So let's go back to glue. I just put that in and I stuff it up every time, the refill. Okay, so let's just use glue. I'm trying to make it as simple as, or as easy as possible. Okay, I'm going to put that in. Okay, and there we go. And then the white onto the top. La 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 la. Always feel like a kid when I play with glue stick. But I kept with just glue stick glue again, just in case you don't have any of the card making glue or anything like that. So I'm just like, we'll just keep it simple. Okay, so there's your matte layer. You can put a stamp there, write in it, whatever you want to do. Okay, let's get that out of the way for now, because otherwise I will put dirty fingers all over it, which is known to be happening. Alright, then we've got this white base layer. Okay, first things first, I have to think, and that's going to hurt. Alright, let's get some cutting out of the way. Our grey piece that is 5 3/4 by 4 3/4, we need to do a little bit of cutting into this. Okay, so basically you're going to find the middle of this, which is 2 3/8. So 2 3/8, which is about here, and you're going to come down 2 inches from the top, so there. Okay, so that's where you're going to mark it, and take it and draw your line out to the edge, boom, like that, and then cut that triangle out. What I might do is replace the cards with the little instructions, so they're right beside. Okay, let's get back to cutting this out. Okay, now you can rub those lines out, but you actually won't see them, so don't stress. Now, I did on one of them, just because I have them, I used an embossing plate and just put some like patterns into it, you know, to kind of represent the knitty sweater kind of thing. But that's obviously something if you have that available, but it can be just left plain. Okay, so we've got that piece. Alright, let's do the rest of the cutting. On the white pieces, you want to come in at the bottom of each one and mark the halfway point, which will be 1 inch. And you're just going to take that and cut it out to the top corners. Boom. Bam. There's one. And then the same again on the other one. You can just turn this over if you've got a pencil mark there. It's all good. Okay. And that's Casper in the background moaning because I'm talking to myself again. Alright. We'll leave the sentiment till the end. Then we are going to look at going into house colours. We've already cut our black piece in half. Okay, so that's done. Alright, into the house colours. So on your blues, you've got this little piece that is 3 by 1.5. Okay, you're going to come down 1 inch. Okay, there. Alright, then you're going to find the halfway between that, which is 3/4. Okay, so 3/4 is about there. Oh, it's pretty spot on. Then hover over that and find the center point of 3/4 again, okay, which is going to be 3/8. Yes, had to think for myself then. Okay, and then you just want to make 2 marks there so that this center bit is 3/4. And then you're going to draw, you can draw a line, I'm going to draw it for you, draw from there up to brain not working out how that I'm left-handed and need to be on this side of the ruler. Okay, and then down from that point down to the bottom corner. Okay, so I'll bring that up. So that's kind of what it looks like there. Okay, and then cut this out. There we go. Alright, then with this little piece of 1.5 by 1, I'm going to lay it over the top of the smaller part of this. This is the tie, and just run your pencil along the edge out there and then snip off those. Alright, so we got that. Alright. Then we've got this longer piece. Now this one is the one that we're going to, this one took some measurement thinking out in technical terms, I know. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in from down 1.5 on one side, on the left hand side. So down 1.5, and then up from the other side, up 1.5. Just make a point there. You're going to connect those 2 points together like so. Okay, so we've basically divided it into 2. Then you're going to go from this bottom point up to this top left point, so from the bottom right point up to the top left corner, sorry, and draw another line. Straight line would be good. And then you're going to go from this left point here down to the bottom right corner. Okay, now you're going to do some cutting again. So we're going to snip off that bit. Don't need it. snip off this bit. I'm too lazy to get my longer scissors out. There we go, snipped off that bit, get rid of that. And then cut this in half down that middle line. Yeah, always on camera, me trying to show you looking dodgy. Okay, sounds about right. Alright, so we've got all of our cut pieces now. So now we're going to start building it together. Grab our tie and some of our shorter pieces of our secondary colour, and we're going to glue these. I'm just going to make a couple of tears so that it's just easier to handle. Round and aboutsies. We're just going to glue the stripes on the tie. Don't worry that it goes over the edge. We're going to cut those extra bits off. Oh, I'm not trying to be fancy. Alright. Doesn't matter if it goes in up under here because we're actually going to cover the knot of the tie anyway, so just throw him on down, hopefully in some kind of straight formation. With me, can't guarantee that. See? Can't do straight. Sit. Straight. Oh. Fiddly. Okay. I got glue all over my fingers. Okay. Let's do this top section now. No. And I'm going to go in the opposite direction. So I went that way. I'm going to go this way on this. Okay. Let's go there. This is why I don't usually use glue stick, because it's sometimes getting it to stick, especially I'm using a bit of a glittery, it's got a bit of a sheen on it. It doesn't necessarily like it, but we'll make it work, and the fact that I've got glue all over my fingers. Okay, there we go. That will do. Alright, turn dish over, and it's easier to come from the back than the front. And snip off all of these extra bits. There we go. So we got that. Blah, blah, blah. And the same on this little piece. Alrighty. So we got those pieces ready to go now. If you think I could do it, you'd be wrong. Okay, then we've got these two longer grey pieces for us from our sweater. We are going to stick the blue down the middle. See, you know, it's because I'm on camera. I can't do anything right. Okay, a little bit nervous because this is a little, you know, this is something I haven't done before on film. Okay, and then this one. Okay, I've got that. And then with our thinner strips, same thing. And take this and glue it down the center. Stay. Stay. Okay. Well, I kind of managed it. Alright. There we go. Now, let's get on to putting our card together. So we've got all of these pieces now. How does it all go together? I don't know. Let's hope we can do it. Okay. First things first, I'm going to find the middle of the top. Okay, so it is a 4 3/4 sized mat. So we're looking for 2 3/8. Help if I have it around the right side. 2 3/8. Okay, so we got that there. Going to stick down at the base of our tie. Now we're going to come in with our sweater. I'm going to glue it down. We're going to come from the move up. I'm going to come from the bottom. Up and cover it like that. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these guys here, and this is when it'd be good if my double-sided tape was working. Why does it never want to work for me? I don't know. It just doesn't like me at all. Probably because I don't know if I've even put it in upside down, which is probably likely. I don't know. I'll play with that later. We'll just go with glue because it works. Okay. We want it to, you want it to overlap down here. It's fine. But we want to tack it so that the point is meeting the point up here. I'm just going to put some glue in this area up here. I want this bottom section loose because we've got to do a little bit of cutting. Okay, so there we go. Done. Alright, so I'm just tacking it in place, but this is still loose. I'm going to do the same on the other side. It's the corner. There we go, and it's overlapped. Now, down here, basically we want to cut right down to make the V. Now, you can use a ruler and a knife if you want to, or you can use scissors. Okay, so you might come in, just stick. Come in and start cutting through like this. Okay, kind of gives you the line. I'm going to just use scissors for the ease of showing you that it can be done with scissors. Okay, so we're going to come in and cut here, and then we're going to kind of make a notation of where that cuts there. This is why I like using the knife, because you can actually get right in, and you can cut it that way. But I'm using it to make my score mark because I don't want to get pencil on this, because then I would have to rub it out. Alright, and then cut this one as well. You could use pencil and then just rub it out if it was noticeable. Okay, so now it comes into a V. So I can glue the rest of this section down. And there we go. So we've got that. I can come along now on the back, just get rid of the bulk of this extra. So you can see what I mean about, I've just given you extra just so you've got fiddling room. Okay. So there we go. That is ready. Alright, now we're going to come in with our cloak. Okay, and we're looking at our two triangle pieces, and they're going to go like this. Okay, so we can come in and put some glue down. There we go. And then the same for the other side. There we go. Okay, now these awkward looking elongated triangles that I made, these are going to put the house colour on the cloak. It's always me trying to figure out which way it goes. So it goes in that position there, and then like this. Okay, just to add a little bit of house colour inside the cloak. I wanted that little addition. You don't need to, that's up to you, but I wanted it, so I figured out how to do it. Alright, glue, and then down we go. Alright, luckily glue dries clear. Anyway, there we go. So there we've got the inside of our hood in house colours. Alright, the next part I'm going to use foam adhesive dots. You don't have to, if you don't have it, just glue it straight down. I just wanted to add a little bit of dimension. If you don't have them, just use glue. Same as we have been doing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put down the knot of the tie. So I'm just going to add some foam dots to this. Okay. There we go. And then we are going to put this on top. There we go. So we've got that. Alright. And these are the collars of the shirt. What I did is I've come along and I've just used my pencil and I've curled it a little. Okay, and then put the point out the end. So same thing, just use my pencil, curled it a little, put a little point there. And then I'm going to add some foam dots to the back. And one down here where it curls up. And the same here. Okay. And then we're going to come in and place that like so. And then we've got a little curled collar. It's going to bend up that corner a little bit more. And then the same for this side. Come in. There we go. Little foam dot down the bottom, curl up the collar, and that is our card mat. Okay. If you do get glue on it like I have, what actually works a treat to get rid of glue stick is just using an eraser. You can go along and just rub out any of my dodgy fingerprint glue marks. Okay, and that will actually rub them off. You can get sand erasers. I actually don't. I need to get one, but I don't have one, and it works just fine for what we are doing to use a normal eraser. Okay, there we go. Sentiment. Down here I've said like 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Basically I'm going to eyeball it. I'm just going to make like a little pocket. Okay, I'm going to come down there. I'm going to come down there. Going to down that way. And come down about the same that way. And then I'm going to chop off the bottom. And there we go. Got a little pocket there. Alright, and then we're going to put this up on foam dots as well. So 1, 2, 3. Fiddly. I don't do delicate fiddly things. They have not been built to do fiddly. Alright. And then just put it down in the corner, like a little breast pocket. Even though the wand pockets are actually inside their cloaks, I do have a full Ravenclaw cloak. I don't have it here, which is, I had it, anyway, all my lunar costume is not here. I do have a full cosplay Luna costume, but we won't judge me by that. Okay, so now we want to finish off our card. This part's pretty easy. We're just going to glue this onto the front of our card. Double-sided tape here would probably be better, but I ain't going to be bothered trying to figure out what I'd done wrong. Alright. So placing it down. The good thing about using glue is that it's still movable for a little bit, so I can actually straighten up my crookedness. Okay, and that's it. That's your house card done. And it doesn't, hopefully, it doesn't look too bad for the peoples. So if we bring it all back in, stick. This is why I'll probably go back in later once I figure out how to fix my double-sided glue, tape, and put it back down. But we've got all of our house cards done. So that is, I'll zoom back out a little bit for you. So that is all of the instructions to be able to do that. So hopefully you have managed to get the instructions, screenshotted that, and they're there. So that is house cards. I've covered everyone. We're all good. All 4 houses have been covered. Hope you enjoyed this little bonus, and as always, remember, be kind, be strong, and be a warrior, and I'll see you later. Bye!